Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja podcast on Thursday, February 25th, 2016. My name is Rich, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Bijan. How you making out this week?
Doing good, Rich. What's up, man? Tonight was like a really fun episode. I think this actually might be my favorite episode of the season so far. If not, it's got to be like the top 3, right?
Yeah, I think there's a reason they left it for the last. Kind of like a save the best for last. It was really cool, really exciting, all kinds of strange things happening.
Yeah, man. There's a lot to talk about this episode, so let's go, man. Let's go.
Yeah, between that and we've got National Ninja League updates, we've actually got a lot to cover. Yes. So we're gonna go through as fast as we can without still trying to keep good coverage on everything here.
Busy week, man.
Yeah, lots going on. This week we had the 4 teams were the Real Life Beasts, that's Drew Dreshel's team, the Invincabels, that's Abel Gonzalez's team, Party Time, that's Brian Arnold, and the Rahnaways, Jamie Ron's Captain NBC. And just to recap from our last episode, you had picked the Real Life Beasts to take it all, and I had picked the Rahnaways, and both of us were wrong.
Yeah, but I can't even complain. All teams put up a really good effort. This was such a fun episode. I really can't complain.
Yeah, lots to talk. It was just great. There's just so many good things that happened. So right off the bat, we had the Real Life Beast. Oh, sorry, before we get into that, the new obstacle, the ring toss. Do you think it's a good obstacle, bad obstacle?
I feel like it's kind of in the middle, right? Because it definitely wasn't an obstacle that people were just skipping over. It led into some finishes where it slowed some people down. So it definitely had a level of difficulty. I wouldn't say it's the upper tier where it made a significant difference and it was like really fun to watch. I feel like it's mid-level where it just was there and it was an added component to the show. I guess it was on par with all the other obstacles. How do you feel, man?
Yeah, I guess a little middle of the road. As exciting as it was to see, especially the very first one to skip the last section, I kind of feel like that took something away from the obstacle a little bit, right? Where it was allowing some people to get such a dramatic jump ahead of everybody else. I'm not sure I liked it. Yeah,
man, I feel you. At first, it was kind of cool seeing it from Drew doing the very first transition, towards in the middle of the obstacle. But then it kind of became par for the course for all the male athletes, and that kind of just took away from it. So I definitely feel that I definitely understand that viewpoint.
Yeah. So starting off, we had the Real Life Beasts versus the Invincibles. That was Nathan Hasso from the Invincibles versus James the Beast McGrath. And that was kind of a straight up, James just ended up beating him out. He just had a good time. Nathan did respectably, but he just wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, I feel bad for Nathan because he held his own, but James McGrath was just, as we said in the previews, he's just so fast. And not just that, technically, he was flawless. I mean, he just ran a perfect run. So Nathan, in comparison, might not have looked as impressive, but he actually held his own quite well. It was just, perfect from Beast,
Yeah, so there we went on to the female competitors. We had Erica Cook versus Jerry Dorilio. And man, oh man, the one thing I noted was the backwards swing on the swing jump from Erica was kind of a strange thing she got going, but she managed to get off of the swing jump she was getting stuck on. Jerry made really good time. Jerry was really impressive through the whole episode. Man, she just killed it.
Man, I love Jerry on this episode. She was so good. Get into more with her accolades, but she's definitely somebody to look out for. And to be fair, Erica Cook, I hyped her up really big in the previews before, when we were previewing the show. And she did respectively on this show, but she definitely showed kind of her inexperience with these obstacles. I think when she's in a dynamic or a situation where she's not racing against somebody, she's going to do a lot better. But overall, this run kind of highlighted some of the inexperience from Erica Cook, in my opinion.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a disconnect with the female competitors on this episode. Erica ended up falling on the dancing stones on this particular one, which meant the teams were tied. But yeah, there was kind of it was like actually a fantastic episode for the women in a number of ways, but
loved it.
There was some really strange moments where it seemed like they were just going at a snail's pace through the course, which was great that they could take their time to complete everything. But at the same time, it's a race. Get moving. Come on, everybody get a little hustle going.
Yeah.
So from there, we moved on to Abel Gonzalez versus Drew Dreschel. And Drew was a little surprising this episode because he was falling behind on the cargo net. And then it just became an epic moment for the series. Drew skips most of the ring toss to catch up and just absolutely kills it. Just, puts everybody on their feet. And the look on Akbar's face when he does it was just amazing. I hope to make it into like a little animated GIF here soon.
For real, you should, man. For me, the number one thing I definitely, I must have been sleeping on Abel Gonzalez because I was like, whoa. I definitely know Abel Gonzalez is really talented, but holy crap. I didn't hold him to the level where it's like he's going to just blow past Drew Dreschel for most of this entire obstacle course. Really impressive from both guys. They definitely, were just going balls to the wall. Drew Dreschel, he made a very coordinated risk. I mean, he was the very first person to make that risk of doing that lache across almost half of the entire ring swing toss, whatever it's called. And yeah, good for him, man. As we've talked about when talking about this show, sometimes you got to make these risks, and sometimes they'll work out for you, and sometimes it won't. And this episode later on definitely highlights that.
Yeah, for sure. So from there, we had the Rahnaways versus Team Party Time. And the first run was Jake Murray versus Adam Grossman. And Jake did the same thing as Drew, but he did it really cleanly. He did like a clean dismount from half the way back on the ring toss. It was just so smooth and just like there was no drama to it at all. He just made it look like it was part of the course to jump from way back there.
Yeah, man, it was cool looking. I think once people saw that, maybe it wasn't even that. I mean, who knows the order of how they ran, but you can definitely see a certain confidence of when he was doing the lache, from the swing. Props to him. I mean, there's not much to say. It was just really impressive overall. Yeah,
and from there we had we went on to Courtney that's Courtney Venuti versus Jennifer Tavernier. And so then Courtney ended up going out on the log grip. So just another instance of them grabbing the higher grips, it seemed.
Mm-hmm. And another note that I came out with was Tavernier was really impressive on this episode. And the one thing that it stands her out from all the other women on this entire sport is she's a mom. And I know, it's not to degrade or to, to say that moms can't do anything, but you don't see when you go to athletic competitions, there's usually an age gap, and usually women that are relegated to, moms or maybe the wives of competitors, they do decent, but they don't do to this certain degree. And I feel like she can be a really good representative of a lot of the older women on this show. I don't know her particular age, but I feel like she's not 22 or anything. And I don't know. I was really, really impressed with all of her accolades on this particular episode, and I really hope she does well in American Ninja Warrior. I see big things in her future, man.
Yeah, Jennifer just did everything so smoothly. She really stood out. Really solid performance all around. Mm-hmm. From there, we went on to Brian Arnold versus Jamie Ron, which was a pretty exciting matchup to see. It was like, oh, God, let's see how this goes.
Fun, man.
And who would have thought Brian Arnold had that much speed in him? I had no idea that was coming.
Yeah, not just that, the little preview video that they had before it, where he's running up sides of mountains and stuff. I'm like, where did this come from? It was really cool, man. Brian Arnold really impressed me a lot this particular episode, but yeah, just in his downtime out of the show, he does some really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, I was actually, I was getting really anxious just watching him run up the side of those things.
Yeah, me too.
But he was so fast. He ended up winning the heat. He did the long dismount too, made it look like it was nothing. I actually was looking forward to seeing him do the rest of the rings because he just looked. I would just loved watching him do the rings. He was so fast, so easy. Just made it look like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you know him. He's got that arm strength. He was killing it. Yeah, not just that. The technique of how he transitioned in that swing, he kind of like used his bicep to like push off of the swing and get more of a like a throw, or throwing his body outwards towards the end of the pool. It was really cool looking.
Yeah, so with that, Team Party Time ended up winning them in a clean sweep. And so that meant that the Rahnaways had to go up against Real Life Beasts. So then the women, it actually did fast forwarded the women's run. So we didn't see Erica Cook versus Courtney Venuti. And Erica fell on the dancing stones. And then Courtney ended up coming behind her and falling as well, which is... every time that happens, I feel so bad for them. Like, you know, same thing had happened to, who was it that had fallen there previously?
Tremaine Dortch.
Tremaine Dortch, that's right. Tremaine is the guy that did the same thing. So, I mean, it can happen to anybody, right? It can happen to the best of them. So, unfortunately, that just ended up costing them. So then they had, we moved on to Adam Grossman versus James Beast McGrath, and Adam ended up going out on the Sonic Swing with just like a bad hop off of there onto the pads. That was awful to watch.
Yeah, that sucked, man. You feel like, you know, they could have done more, but you know, that's one of the things with the show and just the sport in general. Anybody could make a small mistake at any point and fall in the water, you know, even the best of them.
Yeah, and I think as much as, you know, they usually have a pretty good sense of humor about things and stuff in the regular show, I find with Team Ninja Warrior it's even more so, right? Like, it cuts over to Jamie Ryan, who just kind of smiles like, oh, nice job, well done. Like, you can kind of like a friendly, like, he's not mad at him, it's his teammate, and he's just taking it in stride, like, it happens, right? So, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So from there, we went on to the big showdown, Jamie Ryan versus Drew Dreschel. And
yes,
wow, Drew fell on the dancing stones, and a rough fall too. Like,
I was about to say, he fell hard right on his, like, I don't know if it was in his ribs or just like his sternum, but you can tell like he was hurting after he fell on that. And that looked brutal, man.
Wet feet will do it to you every time.
Exactly. You know, there's a few things to take from this. First of all, for me, in my own personal opinion, like when I first saw them, both Drew Dreschel and Jamie Ron, and I saw their ages, I quickly realized that I'm older than both of these guys, which just instantly depressed me. I'm like, oh my God, I've been seeing these guys for years and I'm older than them. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life, man. Oh my God. But not just that, one big note to take from this, which for me is kind of a problem with the whole setup of this show, and I really hope they fix this next season, is at this point, if you look at their standings, Jamie Ron's team didn't win a single run this entire episode. And at this point, Drew Dreschel's team won every single run they did this entire episode. And just because of this one run where Drew Dreschel failed and Jamie Ron won over him, they were in a dead heat matchup where the winner takes everything and the loser is eliminated. I feel like that's too much of just like a non-starter for everything they've done previously in the episode. How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I don't agree with it at all. And I took notice of the same thing, right? We had like, wow, can they really be that they're on the same spot now? So this one run decides the whole thing, with given how well Drew's team's done up to this point and how poorly Jamie's team had done to that point, quite frankly. So, yeah, I don't know how you remedy that. I guess maybe you could have 1 point carry over, so you get 1 point from the first round, so that you can't have it all decided by that one run by the team lead, or whatever you call them, the team captain. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I know they're pressed for time. They can only get so many runs through, right? They have a lot of people to get through, so they can't have like a double elimination style or anything. Round robin would be, ideal, but yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I guess twice as many episodes. That's all. We'll have to have 12 episodes, 20 episodes next year, whatever it takes. Let's get it done.
Yeah, it's a really hard dilemma because there's no clear, perfect answer. But I also feel like it's almost cheating some of the competitors with the current format they have. So it sucks because I wish I had a clear and present answer for the style they have, but there's clearly some loopholes that I feel like can be alleviated next season.
Okay, so then for the tiebreaker in what was a very odd and defining moment for the episode, they chose the women to race. So it was Courtney versus Erica. What did you think when they made that choice? Like, what was your first thoughts?
First thought, I was like, what? But then the more I thought about it, I thought it was kind of cool because it was kind of an agreement with both teams. And I feel like it's fine as long as both teams agree with this. And, there was reasoning behind it. You can kind of get the general feel. I really appreciated how Drew Dreshel and Jimmy Ron worded it, saying, we've already ran our runs. You've already seen what we can do. We kind of want to see what the women on our team can do, and we feel like the women have a lot more to prove or to show to the people. And, I would be down on it if the women weren't so impressive, but I really enjoyed seeing both women run this particular run. I thought it was perfect.
Okay, so from there we had Courtney versus Erica in the tiebreaker. So they both kind of had a slow and steady pace, picking their way through the course. I think they were, you don't want to mess that up, right? So all this pressure is on them, and, they've outright said that they really want to see another woman up the warped wall or two women up the warped wall. So the pressure is on them to do it perfectly, right? Almost treating it more like American Ninja Warrior than Team Ninja Warrior. So I think that was what was going on there. Maybe they were picking their way through, making sure they didn't mess up. And Erica does it. She's the sixth woman to make it up the wall. Like, we're almost to the point of not counting anymore, but that's great.
Yeah, it's perfect. And one thing that definitely stood out to me is both of these women do a lot better when they're going at a slower pace and not so focused on catching up to or just racing against another woman. You can kind of see at this point that they weren't really racing against each other and more racing against the course. And I think that worked for the benefit for both of the women. So it was a good run. I'm very glad to see Erica Cook make it up the warped wall. I feel like she has even more to show in terms of her strengths, maybe with some more practice, but both women were very impressive, just kind of slow. Yeah.
Which would, normally doesn't even stand out in American Ninja Warrior. They can take as long as they want. So hopefully they'll take that with them to the actual, the regular show.
Yeah, and half of this stuff is mental, Once you get the notion that you can do it, it helps out a lot.
Yeah, because, we had how many seasons without anyone making it up the warped wall, and once Casey did it, we had, like, in rapid succession, women do it left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So moving on, we had the Invincabels versus Team Party Time. So the first run we had Nathan Hasso versus Jake Murray. And Jake took a nasty spill in the ring toss. He hit his knee. Oh, my God. That was one of the worst spills I think we've seen. I thought, I didn't know what was going to happen there.
Yeah, not just that. When you look at the landing, he loses his grip, but he swings like full force, like really full force right into the edge or corner of that pole where it looks as though underneath the padding is kind of like some hard boards, and he kind of bangs his knee right into that. And I don't know, man. I was really worried that he might have dislocated his knee from that. It sounds like it might have been his ankle more. I'm not really sure where he fully injured himself, but overall, I'm pretty sure he was not feeling good at all.
Yeah, as evidenced by the fact that we had to get an alternate in for him. So I hope he recovered okay, but for the time being, we had to get an alternate. Anyway, that's kind of jumping ahead a little bit. So at that point, Nathan had it anyway. That was that was Jake trying to catch up and make up the time. So Nathan actually had a really good run and was ahead of Jake, who has been phenomenal throughout the episode. So good job, Nathan. So moving on from there, we had Jennifer versus Jerry in what was one of the best runs of the whole episode. Like, I love this run.
One of the best runs of the entire season. I loved just in terms of like females showing just how talented they are. This was picture perfect. I could not give it up more to these women. They were so impressive. They went at a good, fast pace. They were hitting every obstacle with like perfect precision and technique. And they did the warped wall. How crazy was that, man? 2 women doing the warped wall at the same time.
Oh my God, it was awesome. I jumped out of my seat. It was great. I absolutely loved it. So Jennifer ended up winning it between the two of them. So they noted she's the first mom up the warped wall. That's kind of cool.
Loved it, man. Just I think she can be a real big superstar and hit an audience that Casey Catanzaro hits, but even more so of maybe an audience that feels like they can't do what they truly can do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. So from there, we moved on to Abel Gonzalez versus Brian Arnold in the captain's run. And man, oh man, Brian showed it again. He did the long dismount and was up the wall for the win again. Like, Brian Arnold is like probably one of the biggest surprises I've had in this whole run. Like, I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was that fast.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, he was running like a free runner out there. I guess that he would kill anything where it's upper body, but dude's got some speed in those legs, man. Do not sleep on Brian Arnold. That dude can go.
Yeah, they said he did the ring toss in 4 moves, 8 seconds. Like, just like, that's crazy. Just sped through the whole thing.
That's insane.
So with that, Team Party Time moves on to the final, and stepping in is Travis Winand as the alternate for Jake Murray, who was out because of the injury, as we noted.
Oh boy. So my girlfriend doesn't really watch a show or anything. She's in the background. As soon as this guy comes on the screen, I just see her, like, I feel her behind me just perk up. And all of a sudden, I see her head slowly creep up behind my shoulder and instantly start asking who this guy was and what he's about. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, it seems to me the last time you mentioned her taking interest was the Towers of Power. Is there it seems to be a consistency there? Yeah,
she likes tall, skinny guys. I don't know. Shocker. I'm tall and skinny.
So we had the Party Time versus Real Life Beast in the final. They went for a semi-traditional lineup here. We had the women running first with Erica versus Jennifer. In the middle of the run, we had Drew versus Travis, the alternate. And in the final run, we had Brian versus James.
Perfect placement for both teams. Loved it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that would be the one time where I wasn't surprised at the order, I guess, where they switched out Drew and James. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it fits to both their strengths. It was perfect.
So we start off with the women running, and Erica ends up falling on the log grip. Like, just...
Oh, man.
Oh, as soon as she fell, I was like, oh, this is over. Like, it's so... That 10-second delay. Once you have someone fall, 10 seconds is an eternity on this course.
It really is. Erica Cook, man, she like the entire episode, she's making mistakes when she's up against somebody close to her in terms of, I don't know, like being neck and neck with them. I feel like she's overlooking these obstacles and just showing her an experience, taking risks that she probably doesn't have the technique to take. So Erica Cook, I think she's going to do a lot better when she's not competing against somebody and maybe just going on American Ninja Warrior against a course. But yeah, it was really unfortunate to see. Once that gap happened, it was almost impossible for their team to make up the deficit. They kind of did with Drew Dreschel, but Yeah, Brian Arnold just flew away with it.
Yeah, Drew actually almost fell himself, so it's really, it could happen to anyone, because Drew took a spill, and I thought he was done too. I was like, oh my God, is he going to fall too? Then this is like 2 out of the 3. But he did save it, managed to not touch the ground. And then, yeah, it was pretty close, Brian versus James, but Brian just pulled ahead for the tower climb. If, it's a big if, I guess. If she hadn't fallen, then that would have made a huge difference, obviously. But James versus Brian was pretty even there at one point. Brian just did an amazing job to take it all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool part about the relays, is because, if one person on the team is kind of like holding it down and the other 2 aren't picking up the slack, on their end, they're not going to win the relay. The relay, you have to have all 3 teammates pull their own weight. So I actually really appreciate that with the relay, because you can't have just one team coast with kind of like the Daniel Gill, what we were talking about last week. We can't have just like Daniel Gill hold up his entire team all the way to the finals. His teammates kind of have to, hold their own weight. So if there is a wild card on a team, I'm not going to say a weakness, because, that's not fair. But if there's a wild card that might make some mistakes, it will definitely show during the relay. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think that's why you have a team like Lab Rats that is perfect for this kind of thing, where there is no wild card, right? They're all 3 very solid, where arguably among the best, but maybe not the very best in the sport. But they're all so strong that you don't have to worry about any of them, basically.
Yeah. I feel like this show in particular, you need a solid team rather than a team that's got really strong people and some question marks.
All right. So that was it. That was our 6 teams that qualified for the finals, which would be Team TNT, Team Midoriyama, the Expendables, Team Ronin, Lab Rats, and Team Party Time. And we finally got the explanation for who the other 2 how this was going to work out for the final 2 episodes, because the 6 teams just seemed like a ridiculous number to have for the final 2 episodes to try to sort out. So we have 2 wildcard teams. Storm Team Moravsky and Stratisfaction are back.
I'm so happy. I got to give it up to the producers, even though, the whole wild card's a question mark. You can argue it here or there. But I am so happy that the producers didn't go the easy route, right? Where they could have easily gone with Casey Catanzaro's team, Casey, Brent, be like, oh, they're the stars of the show. No, they went with the 2 teams that were very, very strong, but they just didn't make the cut to the finals. And I appreciate that, because I'm so happy to see Team Stratisfaction in the finals. I feel like that's going to be really fun. And Team Storm Moravsky, if you remember them earlier in the season, they were very strong in their episode too. So I can't complain about it.
I can. I want a Jesse Graff's team. I don't care about the logic of it. I don't care who deserved it the most. That's who I wanted, and I didn't get it, so I'm going to complain.
Hey, Drew Dressel's team won almost all of their heats, so I can complain about that, but the teams that we got were great. So, and I don't know, when it comes to just seeing pure heart and just pure love for the sport, Team Stratisfaction shows their emotions on their sleeve. They're going to be really fun to watch, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Those are great, 2 great teams. I can't wait to see them again. So we get to see the return of Rob Moravsky. How cool is that?
Yay.
We've got some really good stuff coming up.
If I ever meet Rob Moravsky in real life, he's probably going to punch me in my face.
Yeah, I think either one of us would probably deserve that at this point, but that's okay. Yeah. We'll get to see how they all made out in the final 2 episodes. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see it. All
right, so here's the fun part. Who's your final pick to win it all?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we've got 8 teams. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm going to have to go... I'm going to go Lab Rats.
Lab Rats. That's a very strong team. They really surprised me, so that's a great team. I feel like I have to choose Team Ronin just because They were my initial pick, so I have to go all out. I have to stand by my initial pick of a team. I can't give up kudos to myself for if they do win, because obviously I chose the Real Life Beasts over them. But I'm going to go with Team Ronin. They're a very strong team. I feel like Flip Rodriguez, he's strong, but his two teammates are also strong, have their own strengths. I think they can pull it out.
Yeah, and that was... Man, I don't know. I bounced between a few of them, but Team Ronin was definitely one of them. So, Lab Rats I ended up going with just because the last run for Chris Wilczewski was so amazingly fast, and Michelle Warnke was a lot faster than I thought she was going to be too. So, and I know Brian's solid. So, for all around team, I think they've got it covered, and I'm really hoping they can pull it off.
Yeah, Lab Rats are very strong. There's a lot of teams that are really strong in the finals, and I feel like the key to I don't know if the finals are going to be. Do you know the format of the finals? Is it going to be like how we've been watching it, or is it going to be more like relay based or something like that? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm suspecting they're going to swap out some obstacles and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be different.
Yeah, they've got to switch it up. So that's going to be interesting to me to see if some of the more inexperienced members of the teams are going to have trouble with some of these new obstacles that they're going to be introducing. So that's one thing that anybody listening to this, you're going to want to watch out for this upcoming episode, is how the more inexperienced competitors react to these new obstacles and if they can overcome that.
So if we're going for experience, you got to think Team TNT's got the edge on that one.
Big time.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we had the National Ninja League updates. They had actually a couple of competitions in the last few weeks. One at TA Fitness and one at Core Komplex, and we're actually coming up on the finals here. So. So we looked at, they actually kind of had an abbreviated video this week. So TA Fitness, there was the second place run from Melissa Beard. They had some weird steps, like quad steps, but all in a mismatched order. And actually kind of like that obstacle. I thought that was kind of a neat thing to do.
Yeah, it's cool. It looked deceptively difficult. Like from the offshoot, like just looking at it, like, oh, it's whatever, it's just like awkwardly like, positioned quad steps, but when looking at the competitors' transition from one to another, it looked a lot more difficult than it looks. And well, that didn't make sense. It looked difficult than what you can probably perceive from your first glance. And I don't know. I really liked it. I really like these creative obstacles.
Yeah, it's been a nonstop demonstration of weird and creative obstacles throughout the whole season. Mm-hmm. I'm going to kind of miss seeing these videos every week. But from here we had first place was Jessie Lebrec, a familiar name. Man, oh man, they showed that trampoline to a door hang. That is the craziest obstacle. That might be the craziest obstacle they've had yet.
That looks rough, dude. Especially if like you have any like weight on your body. You have to imagine that has got to be hard to do.
And then I don't understand how anybody does it, but apparently more than one person did it. I wish they had given more clarification. So she went out because she was disqualified for something. It sounded like maybe she just, touched the part of an obstacle maybe she wasn't supposed to, or just stepped somewhere maybe. I don't know. They didn't really say what happened.
Yeah, I mean, my best guess is maybe she like landed on an obstacle wrong. I'm not, or like her dismount was she landed in an area maybe she wasn't supposed to. I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So moving over to the men, we had second place was John Alexis Jr., the Giant.
The Giant, yeah. This dude looked tall as all heck.
I still remember him from the show last season. He did really well. He was like the number one for, I forget what region though. Pittsburgh, probably. I think he might have got it first there. It was a strange thing because I remember mainly because he's huge, but at the same time, he's also from Maine, right? Which is in my backyard. Okay, so moving on to the first place finisher, we had Joe Dubuque, who they showed a number of obstacles. Like, oh my God, like, I don't know what these things are. They had a wobbly bridge, PVC pipe thing,
That was awesome, because it sounds like, they had like water or sand in it, and that sounds like really difficult trying to balance on one pipe, but holding up like kind of like a PVC pipe log thingy with water in it, like swishing side to side. Dude, that's difficult.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I actually thought it looked impossible until before he said that, and then when Chris said that, I thought, oh my god, like that would be insane.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, this is. Well, you can continue, but the obstacles following it are just equally as difficult. Where I'm just like, I don't know. I got so much respect for these guys.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to describe all of them. There's so many different obstacles, a lot of balance, a lot of it was just a really interesting course.
Mm-hmm. Really impressive.
So from there, they moved over to Core Komplex, and for the men, in second place, we had Michael Saluzzi. So he went to see the UFOs in action there, swinging from one to grab another, and that looked a little insanely difficult.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Shout out to Atomic Climbing Holds, and this obstacle or this course in general, I feel like is really up there in difficulty from what we've seen in the previous, throughout the season. It's got a good mix of balance and upper body. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the most varied one we've seen. Like, there's just balance obstacles all over the place. He had to, like, go through all these bars, like, flipping from one to the next into a slack line. And, like, I made a note at one point, like, how long is this thing? Like, devil steps and the pegs and, like,
it looked long, huh?
Yeah, a little crazy long.
There were some really difficult looking balance obstacles. That was the thing that stood out for me. So for one, they had like this kind of like long PVC pipe hanging off of this like chain that's holding it upward. So it's swinging from right to left while it can also spin. And it's a very thin pipe in general that you got to shimmy across. It looked very difficult to do.
Yeah, and I was surprised anyone beat that run because he looked like he was going at a pretty good clip on top of everything else. But he was beaten out by Josh Cook, and he's doing the tire flip and he just looked bored. Like it was like absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Like when I do tire flips, that thing drains me. This guy was just like, it's whatever. It's another day at the office. He just looked like he was about to fall asleep doing it.
he just flew through everything. Like all these difficult obstacles, he just made it look like it was nothing, just a cakewalk. So yeah, props to him. He got first place, and it's a familiar name. So he's at or near the top of the National Ninja League final. So he's going to have really good placement for this coming weekend. Yeah,
we'll have to keep an eye out.
So moving over to the women, in third place was Lindsay Jones, noting that she kept her hips square, but she ended up falling on the UFOs trying to transition through there. Mm-hmm. Then we had second place was Rachel Brown. Now Rachel is the one. Yeah. Rachel's this 12-year-old girl who absolutely killed the course. Did a great job.
Awesome. She is so awesome, man. Like I couldn't even think about doing half of the things. Not even one of these obstacles. Like when I was 12, there was no way. This girl is so impressive. I cannot praise her enough. Everybody go out. You have to watch this run that she does. Like she just, when you think of a 12-year-old, like she's not some 12-year-old that it might be like super like tall or muscular or like have something about her that like makes her stand out to do these obstacles. No, she's just a regular looking 12-year-old doing these insanely difficult obstacles. Just really, really impressive stuff, man.
Yeah, just simple things. Even when she struggled, it was pretty cool. Like her jump to the cargo net took so long, like trying to get across, but she didn't struggle. Like she just readjusted, swung for a while until she was able to make it. Like one of the craziest parts is that she was able to flip the tire. Like you would think that would be the part where she'd have trouble, right? It's a upper body strength, obstacle that looked like it would probably be difficult to do, but you wouldn't guess it from watching her.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably a good 2 to 3 times her weight. I mean, the tire was literally when it stood up almost as almost to her, like higher, taller than her. and the width of it was just like really thick. This was a really heavy tractor tire. And she was able to power through that and then go and try the warped wall. I mean, this girl is really impressive. And this is one thing that we've been talking about with this new generation, this new breed of ninja warriors. You know, we saw this in Sasuke because it's been going on longer. You know, most recently, the last person to reach total victory in Sasuke, which is, you know, Japanese version of Ninja Warrior, he was training almost his entire childhood, kind of like her. So I am really, really excited 6 years from now to see what Rachel can do when she's an adult, when she's 18 and able to try out the course on the official show. I really feel like she's going to be one of the standouts. I'm really excited to see younger children or younger athletes try out this type of sport.
You know what's kind of crazy is you have to be 21 to be on the show, so 9 seasons.
Oh, you can't even be 18. Oh, that's brutal, man.
So season 17, watch out for Rachel Brown. That's kind of sad.
I'll be in a wheelchair, you know, being like, oh, I remember Rachel. She was a youngin'.
Remember I used to do that podcast? Yeah.
Yeah.
So episode, geez. First place we had Maggie Thorne, who wasn't actually shown. They didn't have any video of her, but Maggie was actually the first place finisher. So congratulations, Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it for our weekly National Ninja League coverage. Now that we are at the finals, I'm hoping we get a good dose of the finals and we can cover what happened there. Of course, we'll talk about the results from what we get. So it's February 27th and 28th at the Movement Lab in Hainesport, New Jersey. It starts Saturday morning and goes right to 11 p.m. at night. Like, that's a pretty long, brutal day.
A long day.
On Sunday, they'll include anyone who completed Stage 1, moving into Stage 2, and they'll possibly see Stage 3 if anyone makes it through, which with the competitors that have made it through, I'm sure that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a fun day, right? I mean, anybody that's in that area, definitely go out and see it. It sounds like a really fun 2 days, almost kind of like a pre-American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, you'd be crazy. If you're in the area, you definitely should be checking it out. So for Stage 3, they're going to have a twist, though. They need to have a winner, so whoever gets through Stage 3 the fastest will be the champion. So I can't wait to see who actually pulls it off for the first season.
Yeah, me too. Oh, and Chris Wachowski, you better have video footage of like all these runs. Telling you, man, do it.
Yeah, we need. Oh my god! So if they're going that long, so he needs about 15 to 20 hours of footage.
sorry. I'm saying make it like an episode of American Ninja Warrior. You know what I mean? Like, get the highlights, get the runs that actually like super matter. I'd love to see at least the Stage 2 and Stage 3 competitors. I'd like to see some of the most of the run. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can get it, we'll watch the whole thing. Whatever he posts, we will be watching it and we'll be reporting back what we find.
Yeah, it sounds really fun. I'm excited, man.
So moving on to our video of the week, actually we're going to kind of backtrack a little bit. So video of the week, we're actually going to choose, it's kind of a combination. So the National Ninja League video, Rachel Brown's run was so impressive that we really encourage everyone to go watch it. So we're going to make that our video of the week, in addition to 2 other videos featuring Rachel.
Earlier in National Ninja League when she ran at Ninja Quest.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll have links to all of that. Highly recommend you check it out because we won't be able to see Rachel, unfortunately, on the show for another 9 years. But we'll, in the meantime, we can encourage her to keep it up and keep doing the good work that she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Rachel. She, I really hope she motivates a lot of the other younger kids that might go to, because when you go to these, like, see these local competitions, you see a lot of children in the background, and I really hope it motivates her or more of the kids to try out some of maybe the safer obstacles. You know, I don't want kids trying the warped wall immediately, but some of the safer obstacles, if they can, it'd be really cool to see these local competitions kind of, be an option or, a chance for these younger competitors to actually compete in these competitions, right? Because American Ninja Warrior, you have to be 21, which I think, honestly, they can go maybe 18. Maybe there's some legal reasons why they can't. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's cool. And shout out to her parents and shout out to Rachel. It's really awesome seeing her do this at the age of 12.
All right. And moving on, we have some, we'll call it ninja news, I guess. So they've actually announced the upcoming cities and schedule for most of American Ninja Warrior. So the first city they're going to be going to is Atlanta, Georgia, which I think is unusual. I think they normally do Venice Beach first, but we're going to have Atlanta, Georgia on March 18th and 19th. From there, it seems like in between sometime late March, early April, we'll have Los Angeles, but they haven't posted the date for that particular city. Then we have Indianapolis on April 27th and 28th. Oklahoma City, May 13th and 14th, Philadelphia on May 26th and 27th, and the Las Vegas finals will be June 15th through 20th. So pretty exciting stuff. Bijan and I are both hoping to get out to one of these city finals, but we're not sure if we're going to be able to pull it off, but we're going to definitely try.
Yeah, I work, so if I'm free that weekend, I'm definitely going to try to make it out. Rich, if we can, we should post a link to, the website where they can get on a wait list for the tickets.
Yep, I'll definitely do that as well. So one last thing I wanted to cover before we go. My daughter has been looking to get a little involved in the podcast, so she's actually started up a Tumbler account. Now, I have to admit, I don't get Tumbler. I'm getting too old for this stuff. So apparently Tumbler is the thing for young women right now, so she's all over that, and she's got one piece together. I'll have a link in the show notes. There's also linked from our website, and I'm going to help her with kind of filling the content. So we're going to do, anytime I come across something that's interesting, we'll be sending it her way, and she can put it up onto the Tumbler so you guys can see it, and we'll make some... going to try our hand at making some animated GIFs and whatnot that'll be entertaining for everyone.
Yeah, sounds awesome, man. I can't wait to look at it.
All right, so that's it for this week's episode. I'd like to thank you all for listening. Please take the time to subscribe on iTunes and leave us a rating if you could. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. That's at Ninja Podcast. And if you have any feedback for us, you can always reach us at rich@ninjapodcast.com. So thank you all for listening once again, and I hope you have a great week.
Peace.
A special thanks to Kathleen Martin for the song Player v Player Remastered from bandcamp.com.
Thank you all for listening and have a lovely day.